gonna come on you. The video that does add more color to you. Pay no attention to him barking, ladies and gentlemen. That is Bryan C. Dunn. What's going on, everybody? Troy Rawlings here, and this is Meet the Coaches. This is the Meet the Coach interview that has been censored by the man. When I say the man, I mean me.
And technology, that's right.
Each time I try to, now you got to come over here. Yeah, I think Brian's petting his dog, literally. I think.
Yeah, I'm petting my dog.
I see you over there, like.
That's right. Just reaching down. Yeah.
I want to make sure everybody knows this is a family show.
That's right. Family show, even.
Right.
Ain't gotta do that.
Welcome to Meet the Coaches. This is Troy Rawlings. I get the chance to interview some of the greatest business, life, love coaches like myself. And this is an amazing coach, but he's also the owner of Sage Hypnotherapy and Sage Hypnosis Center, hypnotherapist, havening practitioner.
Before we do these interviews.
Steampunk? Is it steampunk, or am I saying it right?
Yeah, I do steampunk. Yeah.
Steampunk aficionado.
I do all kinds of things. That's right. A life well lived. That's what I do. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me here, Troy. I appreciate it. Wingnut and I are happy to be here.
Wingnut. I was trying to remember the dog's name. I'm playing with words. Wingnut.
Wingnut. That's right. Good girl.
Oh.
Yeah, she was a stray, so she's a little skittish. So I'm trying to keep her calm here. So if it looks like I'm having like a little seizure, I'm just scratching her head.
Move to your left.
Here.
More. Wingnut is like, why are you moving to your left?
Why are you moving? You're supposed to pet me. How's this? Is this better?
Perfect. Okay. All right, let's get this thing underway. For those, because this is the one that people have been asking about. Because a lot of people still do not know the difference between hypnosis and hypnotherapy. Hypnosis and hypnotherapy go hand in hand, but what the difference is between when they go to a show, like the Vegas show, or they may go to the Magic Castle here in LA or somewhere, and they experience hypnosis on stage, and what the difference is between that and hypnotherapy. And what you do with people, and what you did with somebody, even today, you had a great client today that you had breakthroughs with. So, first off, how did you get involved with even doing hypnosis?
Actually, it was just happenstance. I was working for a radio station, the on-air personality I was the board op for. She was a psychotherapist. She did training. She said, "Bryan, come and do this." I said, "I ain't got the money for that." She, "Come on anyway." And that was about almost 30 years ago. And so I learned basic hypnotherapy. Then I went and got a master's degree in education, got my teaching credential, didn't think about it, just helping friends and family. And when I left teaching about 6 years ago, I'm like, what am I going to do? Then I was hypnotizing a friend of mine for chronic neck pain. I thought this is what I'd do. And so I went to Hypnosis Motivation Institute in Tarzana, expanded my education, got certified, hang my shingle, and here I am.
And that's the thing. You had been doing it already for 20 years before you said, and it's something about that. I told somebody recently, something about that 20-year mark. Your voice changes when you tell me, I'm doing it 20 years. And you smoke? No, I'm smoking. That's just a 20-year voice. But it's something about having that sense of validity. And then you went and took it further and said, okay, let me actually get certified. And so what is the difference for people that don't know the difference? What is hypnosis? What exactly happens? Because some people are fearful of it because they think, I don't want to lose my mind and wake up and be barking every time somebody rings a bell. Like, no.
Right. In general, hypnosis is just the name we give to the process of accessing the part of our mind that we don't normally have access to. You've got your conscious mind and your subconscious. You might think of it like your computer, desktop computer. What's on the screen, your files you use regularly, your games, your photos, all of those things, that's like your conscious mind. But it's a very small percentage of the mind's power. The subconscious is like your CPU. So if you need to make some deep changes, all the programs that run without you thinking about it, they're all in the CPU. That's your subconscious. Hypnosis is the process of getting you in to the subconscious to make the changes you want. In essence, we're just cutting out all of the external nonsense to allow you to hone in and focus on the one or two things that you really want to focus in on. The difference between hypnotherapy, which we take our time doing that, and shows is that the people, when we do shows, the people that do that, 10% of the population, they go in like that. So that group of people will go up on stage, they'll volunteer, they're going to go through, they're more willing to do the goofy stuff. But at no point do I have control over their minds. If I did, I wouldn't be practicing in the States. I'd have my own island.
Right.
Planet. That's right. If I could control minds. So
right.
In essence, the seed of it is the same. We're accessing a part of the mind that normally is protected. You don't want your long-term memory and all your habits and everything open to the public, or your fight, your flight, your freeze, your autonomic system. All that stuff is controlled by your mind. Otherwise, when you went to sleep, you wouldn't survive.
And you mentioned something to me before that you were doing an event, and or there was a man doing an event, and there was someone there, and while everybody else was going a certain direction.
Oh yeah. There was it just illustrates how I can't make you do anything you don't want. And what there was a show I watched where there's an East Indian man up on stage, which means 10%. He's willing to do all the crazy stuff. But the hypnotist said, okay, everybody, when I count to 3, you're eating these big juicy burgers, and 1, 2, 3, and everybody's chowing down, wiping their face. And he's just sitting there happy as a clam, not doing anything. And the hypnotist is like, oh, geez, what's going on there? He said, oh, in my religion, we don't eat beef. So even though he was deep enough to do the silly things, he still wouldn't violate his morals or ethics. And that's one of the things that most people don't quite understand. Your mind is designed to protect you. It's not going to allow you to harm yourself. Even if you're a smoker, your mind believes that the smoking is doing something for you. And that's where I come in to kind of go and let's find out what that is and change that perspective. So that's a great question. You do listen when I talk to you.
Yeah, we've talked a bit. And I want to, before I get into havening, because you are a havening practitioner, I know a lot of people. I didn't know anything about it until you broke it down to me. And but I want to talk about a couple, you can call them breakthroughs or things. What's the one thing that has happened with someone has came through and it shocked you? Like something that like you didn't even think this was possible, this person giving this thing up or this person accomplishing this, even if it's in your own life, something you did. Because sometimes, because I know that's one thing I've learned from having friends who are hypnotherapists, that you work on yourselves. Mm-hmm. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
You talk about working on yourselves because, that's one of the things. I've got a buddy that he'll go in for dental work with no anesthesia whatsoever. He's just like, okay, just give me 5 minutes. And then they'll go through and they'll like replace his jaw, and he doesn't flinch. I'm not quite there yet, but I got to say though, there's so many amazing, wonderful things that happen with hypnotherapy, helping people deal with the issues. I mean, obviously the things becoming non-smokers or when people are dropping weight and things of that nature, living healthier lifestyles. But honestly, it's those little victories, the little things. Client I had recently came in and she's got relationship issues. She's got a fixation with her ex. She's stressed. She's got anxiety, very skeptical, which I appreciate. And at the end of the session, she got up and she said, I feel like a new woman. And you just saw in her countenance, that confidence. She was no longer going to be, and these are her words, that she was no longer going to be, at the whim of her ex, or be as fixated on him. So these little things are really monumental. So, even if it's just somebody that wants.
When you have that was one session with somebody you didn't know. Really cool. With somebody you didn't know. It wasn't like a regular thing, and then all of a sudden,
And then my favorite are the people that come in, they're like, I don't think I can be hypnotized. I'm like, okay, I have a very strong mind, which ironically, people that are very analytical seem to get a lot out of hypnosis, because now they're not just stuck with the conscious part of their mind. Now they have access to the entirety of their mind to make these changes, and they really get a lot out of it. A buddy of mine who's his office is beneath mine, and he the whole time, and we've been friends forever, but he's like, pseudoscience. I don't believe in hypnosis. And then one day he asked to be hypnotized, and he was having some anger issues. Got him in the chair, and this guy, he's stubborn, but he dropped like a lead balloon. He went under. He came out. Yeah, it came out. 15 minutes later, he said, "You're a witch." He laughed about that. He said, "You made me do something therapy hasn't allowed me to do 2 years. Just feel something." And so it's really neat when you're able to kind of help, especially the people you care about, that close friends, family, help them kind of deal with the things that are kind of blocking them from moving forward, or even just being happy. It's really exciting, and it's very validating. It feels really good. And honestly, that's why I do it. Same reason I used to teach special ed. I've got a master's in special ed, and people always say, well, why do you, and I taught middle school also. So people are like, well, why are you teaching middle school, special ed? And I would just tell them, I felt like nobody gave a damn when I was in middle school. And I want these kids to know that I give a damn, that somebody gives a damn, and they're important and they're smart. You and I were talking earlier about that. And while it's pertinent to special ed, and that is they may have a learning disability or two, but they have hundreds of learning abilities. Those of you that are watching this video, you're dealing with your issues and those little things you're kicking yourself over. And yeah, you've got these concerns. We can deal with those, but I want you to be aware of all the strengths in so many other areas. You're a parent, you're an employee, you're a member of the community. You're kind and you're giving. You hold the door for people. All these amazing things about you. You are lovable and you're worthy. You're loving. You have that aptitude. That's amazing, and you're loved. You're loved. And you're liked. So, oftentimes we kind of ignore our strengths and hone in on our weaknesses. And not that we shouldn't pay attention to, what's vexing us, but when we take our strengths, we can overcome those weaknesses. And hypnosis and havening are brilliant ways to do that.
And I'm glad you mentioned havening. I was just about to ask, tell people a little bit about the havening.
Absolutely, dude. I am stoked about the havening. It's a fairly recent thing. It is a psychosensory approach, which means a touch-based approach to treatment for anxiety, PTSD, somatic pain, things of that nature. It also helps kind of build new pathways in the mind. In essence, when we experience trauma, it changes the brain on a cellular and molecular level. What havening does, and it lasts forever. That's the problem. These molecules get wedged in. And what havening does is it actually releases the right chemicals and brain waves that allow that molecule to be taken off, and the parts of the cells that are dealing with the trauma get reabsorbed, and you go back to factory reset. And the result I'm getting is they're phenomenal. They're amazing. And it's fairly recent. There are less than 100 practitioners, certified practitioners worldwide. And I am so honored and privileged to be one of those certified practitioners. But when you take somebody that's had a lifetime of anxiety and in 20 minutes eradicate it, it's just another tool. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to fix everything, but it's going to get you in a spot where you can improve, where you can really move forward. And So I've been certified for just a few months now, and but the people I work with, and even now people are, I've been out there pounding the pavement telling people about this. And just yesterday I had a client come to me and say, can you do that havening? Which was really cool and very validating. And yeah, it's amazing. And I recommend, I can explain more about it and the actual dynamics that happen in the brain. Just get a hold of me.
Yeah, how can people get in touch with you? How can people get, because I know they have a lot of questions, and the best thing about it is, I mean, with things like this, and because you do webinars or Skype with people as well, or is it not just in person? Of course, because you're in California.
I do sessions, Skype, Zoom, multiple platforms, Facebook, whatever it is. But you can get hold of me.
He's one of the Coaching and Life coaches as well. You can reach him at coachingandlife.com.
Right. If you go to coachingandlife.com, you can get a hold of me there and get my services through there. Or you can give me a call if you have questions, 760-985-8270, or email me at sagehypnosiscenter@gmail.com. You can visit my website, sagehypnotherapy.com. And I welcome skeptics. I welcome questions, man, because the more you know, the better off you are. And my motto with my business is just say no, KNOW.
Right.
Yeah, the more you know, the easier it is to heal.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Bryan C. Dunn, my friend, one of the coaches with coachingandlife.com. Make sure you go to coachingandlife.com. Check Bryan out at sagehypnotherapy.com. Email him at sagehypnosiscenter@gmail. Give him that phone number one more time, Bryan.
760-985-8270.
8270. I'm writing it down too. I'll make sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you once again. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Cal Coaching and Life on Instagram. I'm Troy Rawlings, the Love Coach. Check me out, TroyRawlingsLive.com. And we'll talk to you in a bit. Thanks, Bryan.
Thank you.